In this next video, we're going to go through the process on estimating a product that is not in your toolbox library. Now, especially in the commercial world, there could be a lot of projects coming across your desk that are asking you to bid on custom products like dye walls or wood paneling. Now, this can easily be done with the estimating tools inside of Toolbox. But we can't just add some base and uppers to prepare this quote. We need to use some of the other tools to get accurate pricing for a custom product. So let's get started. Here we have the plans from the architect, and we've been asked to work on preparing a bid for this reception desk. Now, we didn't get a lot of details from the plans, but this is basically what it's going to look like. Now, as long as we know the overall size, the material to be used, and the general design, we can get started on putting a price together. Now, inside of the product list, I've already added the base 3-drawer product, but now let's use one of our estimating products in the library. This will be the pricing cost-based estimating product. Now, with this product, we can add all the parts needed for construction, plus any hardware, as well as some additional labor for production. Now, starting off in our part options, we can enter the quantity of parts we need for this dye wall. Most of this other stuff we can ignore for now. Once we select the amount of parts, we can go to that tab to edit the names and sizes. So I'm going to pick 6 parts. I'll need some parts that make up the dye wall frame. Here's where you can call out the additional part quantity and dimensions. Then select the material, and on to the next one. I also need some countertops, so picking the correct material from the library, and then maybe an end panel too. Along with the material, I can also assign some edge banding that we need. Now for the hardware. If I haven't added that to my library, it's no problem. It can be added at the project level. Now, it will only be for this project, but at least we have the pricing that we need for it. Give it a description, fill out the necessary fields for estimating, markup, waste factor, labor value, which is the number of hardware items that can be finished per minute, and the estimate price. Then into the product level activity stations, add some more time for the labor of this product. Let's go ahead and add to the finishing station so we're covered for any time laminating parts manually. Maybe the assembly is going to go up in the shop. And how about some extra time for the drafter? If you select on the parts list for the product, you can see what's been included. We have the cut parts with the material and edge banding, and the hardware. Now double click on the description and give it a new name. Also give it a new width, height, and depth. Now this won't affect the parts in the product, but it will show up on the report that's going to the customer. And before we get to creating the work order, let's add one more product from the library. Now this one could be for any miscellaneous items to be included with the project. For item number 1, we'll include some adjustable feet. And how about another bracket just in case? Then into item number 4. We do need some glue to join up these tops on site. Again, this isn't something that we have in our library yet, but instead of adding another project level material, why not just save our work and import the spreadsheet we update with materials and vendor pricing? So that way we can get what we need in the library. If you're wondering about the names of these pulls, I just did it this way because in the plans we would always review, architects were notorious for leaving out the handle type. So we just want to give ourselves an allowance. Now you can name the pieces of hardware any way you like. The most important thing is there's a cost assigned to it. Now back into Toolbox options and our database management tools. Select Create New Materials from Import File, find the spreadsheet, and import to Toolbox. The new materials have been added and existing materials updated with new properties. To verify that they were added successfully, we can look in the library specification groups, then into the material file, and there's the new hardware, which is also ready to use inside of the project. Okay, so now back to the product list and into the miscellaneous parts, aka pricing prime cost product. Let's finish adding some more items. Now let's quickly do a parts list review. Here we can verify material and other properties of the products. Everything looks good, so now we can create a work order and generate the cost reports. Open up the report, and there we have our bid for the customer. Now notice here the prepared for is empty, and that's just because I forgot to fill out some of those project properties. So make sure you have the general contact filled out and that contact has the necessary properties in the company setup. Okay, back to the quote. Now this report is fully dynamic, so we can make changes directly inside of it to show product prices or add some additional cost. Go ahead and throw an expedited fee in there and resubmit to show new total amount. We can also edit other pages in this report. If you want to change something about the terms and conditions for this specific quote, you can do it here. Now to edit the report in the template, you would use our report designer tool. And we have other videos and documentation on our website about how that works. And once we save it, this quote is ready to send off to the customer for approval. Well, I hope that helped give you a little better understanding on how Toolbox can be used for estimating custom products inside of your project. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you back here next time for some more Microvellum Toolbox training.